Hello YouTube, and hello NFL sports fans from all around the globe. The playoff games of today have finally ended with only 8 teams remaining. These 8 teams featured are the Green Bay Packers, the San Francisco 49ers, the Seattle Seahawks, and Atlanta Falcons all represent the NFC. For the AFC, there is the Houston Texans, New England Patriots, Baltimore Ravens, and the Denver Broncos. This should be an interesting matchup for the next week when it comes down to division games, determining who will go to the championship game and thus further the Super Bowl. First off, for the NFC, we have the Green Bay Packers and the Vikings playing for their playoff hopes. The Packers were in a must-win situation, as if the Vikings were. Despite the fact that the Vikings last week defeated the Green Bay Packers by a last late field goal, the Packers lost a bye week. However, that did not stop Aaron Rodgers from defeating the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 24-10 last night. So the Vikings are out. The Green Bay Packers will play the San Francisco 49ers next week for the NFC title. How about them Seahawks? I never seen such a good performance by an NFL rookie in his starting year in quite a long time. The Seattle Seahawks defeated the Washington Redskins 24-14. A very good, impressive win. So Seattle won, Washington Redskins are out. The NFC now is left only to the Falcons, Seahawks, 49ers, and Green Bay Packers. One of these teams each will meet in the NFC title game, the championship game, and whoever wins that game will go on to the Super Bowl. And as a fellow Green Bay Packer fan, I hope we beat the 49ers, and I hope we beat whoever is the winner of the Seahawks-Falcon game, which will be played next week. And now let's look at the AFC game. AFC title picture. The Bengals lost to the Houston Texans by a score of 13-19, a 6-point game. A very good game played by Andy Dalton. However, the Bengals do not proceed to winning, and they lose. Houston Texans, led by Matt Schaub, will continue their way against the Patriots, where they had lost earlier this year. The Colts were defeated by the Baltimore Ravens 24-9 in what seemed to be a very good led Ravens team by Joe Flacco and Ray Lewis and Ray Rice. The Colts are out too. This just leaves the Texans, Patriots, Baltimore Ravens, and the Denver Broncos. Of these 4 teams, one from each division will get in and play for the title game, championship game, and then get to the Super Bowl. So that should be an interesting matchup. Let's take a look at the strengths of the NFC teams competing for the Lombardi Trophy this year. The Seattle Seahawks are probably the red hottest team of all 8 teams that are trying to get there. They are led by the rookie Russell Wilson, who spent 3 years playing for North Carolina Wolfpack and ended his last year at Wisconsin for the Badgers. Russell Wilson is probably one of the greatest rookies to ever start a football game. He has tied Peyton Manning for the number of touchdowns thrown in a rookie year by any rookie quarterback. He is extremely well down the field. He is very mobile and can run. The Seattle Seahawks will play the 49ers next week, the Atlanta Falcons next week, to determine who goes to the championship game. The Seahawks have a good defense, a good offense, and a lot of spirit, so therefore they could go because they are playing on the road, and it usually takes a lot more momentum to play on the road than it does to play at home. Now let's look at the Packers. The Packers are led by Aaron Rodgers from California, the Golden Bears. Aaron Rodgers is unlike any quarterback the NFL has seen in quite a few years, even surpassing Tom Brady on some stats. Rodgers takes the Packers right now at 12-5 next week against the 49ers. The Packers have gotten Woodson back, Shields, and also a few other players that are valuable to their team. The Packers cannot afford to get any more injuries. The Green Bay Packers have the devotion and spirit of their team to get to the Lombardi Trophy and reclaim it for the coach that was named after their team. I see the Packers going to the NFC Championship game. I can see them going that far. But will they get to the Super Bowl? Dun 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 dun. I don't know. Next, let's look at the Atlanta Falcons. A good team with Matt Ryan at quarterback. The Falcons have a very good defense and a very good special teams unit. Their offense is mainly rushing, but they also can throw too. The Falcons last year had a very good run for the Super Bowl. And the year before, when they lost to the Packers in the playoffs, getting routed by the Packers at home. The Falcons are the type of team that have a lot of spirit behind them and can possibly get there. So the Falcons have a chance to get there too. Now let's look at the 49ers. The 49ers have two quarterback choices. They have Kaepernick and they have Alex Smith. Both of these quarterbacks are very good. However, Kaepernick in the few last weeks has been pretty soft though, not playing as good as he should be. So it'll be interesting to see how the 49ers come out next week against the Packers. And now for the AFC teams. That includes the New England Patriots, Houston Texans, Baltimore Ravens, and the Denver Broncos. The New England Patriots are led by legendary quarterback Tom Brady, who is always a favorite pick every year to get into the Super Bowl, it seems. The Patriots have a very good offensive coordinator, a very good defense coordinator, and a very good coach named Belichick. The Patriots are one of the best teams in the National Football League, and they have all the tools and equipment to get them to the Super Bowl. Houston Texans with Matt Schaub have a good chance too. They are very good at defense and offense, although they have struggled in the last few weeks against certain teams, but we will not count them out because overall they have played very good this year. They have a very good running back in Adrian Foster. When we look at the Ravens, we see Joe Flacco, Ray Rice, and Lewis all playing for a very good developed Ravens team. The Ravens today defeated the Colts in a very surprising game that I thought would come down to being a lot closer, not 15 points. Unlike the other teams and their victories and losses and whatnot, the Ravens showed that they can be a very good, talented Colts team. And show why last year, like they were last year, why they can get to the Super Bowl. They also have a very, very good field goal kicker. The Broncos are led by legendary Peyton Manning this year. Peyton Manning is coming off his first year of neck surgery following a very successful career for the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning has been playing since 1998 and since then has been a legend. Will the Broncos get to the Super Bowl? I cannot say. The Broncos have a very good offensive line, and they also have a very good defensive line. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball. Peyton Manning is right on target. The Broncos, like any of the other 8 teams that are great in the NFL, have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. All 8 teams have a chance. They're all good. And the facts of it are that all of these teams have been to the Super Bowl except one. That is the Houston Texans. All of these teams have been to a Super Bowl. That is pretty amazing except for one team. Now, when you look at the teams comparison, basically, what I'm trying to say is the team comparison of all these teams is that all of these teams rely on defense in some manner. Most of them are very, very good defensive teams, such as the Packers, the Falcons, the 49ers, the Seahawks, Patriots, Texans, Ravens, and Broncos. All have very good, successful defenses. So seeing who will be at the Super Bowl this year is very hard to say, because anything can happen on a given Sunday. And now, sports fans, let's look at some possible Super Bowl matchup scenarios for the year, shall we? A 1997 Green Bay Packers Patriots Super Bowl matchup would be awesome. That would be a rematch of the 1997 Super Bowl, for which the Packers defeated the New England Patriots back when Brett Favre took him to his first Super Bowl and his last Super Bowl victory. This would be a very interesting game because the Packers, despite their injuries, both had two times to get to the Super Bowl and play the Patriots, but they lost to the Giants twice, and the Giants went ahead and beat them both. So this would be a very interesting possible scenario for a Super Bowl. Very interesting indeed. Or how about the 1998 Super Bowl matchup between the Packers and the Broncos, when Brett Favre lost his first Super Bowl. And it was also his last Super Bowl appearance too, giving the Packers 2 straight Super Bowl berths since 30 years when they went 67 and 68. This would be very interesting. Peyton Manning and Green Bay Packers legend Aaron Rodgers, 2 of probably the most elite quarterbacks this year, fighting it off in the Super Bowl. Maybe this time the Packers will get the revengeance of beating the Broncos. Or maybe they won't even get there at all. But we'll see. Ha ha ha. Go Packers. Or how about a battle of the birds between the AFC Ravens and the NFC Falcons? The Falcons have been there once and lost it. The Ravens have been there once and they won it back in 2000. This would be a very interesting matchup. The Ravens, led by Joe Flacco against Matt Ryan, probably 2 of the more better defenses in the country for NFL. This would be a very interesting game because I think it would come down to defensive and what quarterback could throw the ball better. But alas, this would be a very interesting game. Or about another battle of the birds between the Seattle Seahawks and the Baltimore Ravens. Another clash. This time with Russell Wilson bringing his bag of tricks to the game. That would be very interesting. Russell Wilson taking on Joe Flacco. The Seahawks have improved dramatically with their defense, and so have the Baltimore Ravens. This would be a very interesting game because it would be two teams within a range of 5 years that have been there. The Ravens in around 2000, 2001, and the Seahawks in about 03 or 04. Both got to Super Bowls. Both of these teams themselves have only been to one Super Bowl each, so it'd be very, very interesting to see how they would match up and play. Or what about the NFC Atlanta Falcons taking on the Houston Texans? Both teams have almost gotten there in the last 3 years, but they have come very, very close to getting to their actual goal. A very interesting game with two young quarterbacks with very good, talented defenses and special teams who have regrown their team legend, making them great teams. Both of these teams 5 years ago have not been very good, but now they are powerhouses and very good. Any of these teams has a very good chance of winning it, really. But it would come down to defense. And a team with the best defense is always a team that's going to come up on top, usually. The Patriots 49ers, that would be a very interesting game. The 49ers would bring a lot of good stuff. Both of these teams would bring good stuff, actually. Good special teams, very good, very, very good coaching staff. It'd be a very hard battle fought to the end. Patriots rely on Tom Brady. The 49ers rely on Alex Smith. And voila, you get yourself a good Super Bowl. Both of these teams have had very good Super Bowl ranges. Or not ranges, but times and eras when they were good. The 49ers dominated the 80s and even into the early 90s. The Patriots since 2000 have been a very dominant football team. This Super Bowl possibility matchup would be an awesome matchup. And there you have it, folks. 8 teams all trying to get the famous Lombardi Trophy back to their trophy case. Or their empty trophy case. For the Houston Texans, that is. And the Seattle Seahawks. And the Atlanta Falcons. But rest assured that one of these teams will get there from each division. And it will be a great Super Bowl no matter who goes. And Russell Wilson should be, in my opinion, voted Rookie of the Month. Dalton, RG3, and Luck all lost. Russell Wilson is the only rookie quarterback left who is actually going somewhere. He should be voted the Rookie of the Year. He has my vote, and go Packers. So, see you guys later. Subscribe and go Packers.